don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello there. All right, I watched the movie Radhe Shyam. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I guess I was expecting something different. Maybe not off the trailer. Hard to tell. I feel like this movie was too long. It took far too long for it to get to the point as to why he's a palm reader. I kind of understood. So basically, he's a palm reader, and he refuses to fall in love. I mean, put two and two together. Why would someone who can tell the future refuse to fall in love? I mean, it's kind of obvious. So yeah. Yet, let alone he does end up falling in love. And of course, the person that he falls in love with is also in the same boat where she refuses to fall in love. And yeah, so he reads her future and refuses to believe the predicament she's in. And then she finds out the predicament he's in because he read his own future at a young age and apparently knew he was going to die. So I kind of wish it went a different route. I think they went stronger on the love aspect. That made everything else kind of fall to the side, because even him being a palm reader served no real purpose, because they could have literally done the same where they both kind of have the same kind of situation. I guess it wouldn't have felt the same because he had to fight through his destiny to get to the one he loved. So there were little things here and there that are just like, I'm not really convinced. It doesn't sell to me that well, because here are two people who were they fought against the odds, I guess. So that's what the story's about. But I had trouble reconciling, because I was thinking, okay, because he goes to see like the prime minister or some people at the very beginning. I'm like, okay, he's basically telling this lady that she's going to cause like an emergency shutdown of India. Several things that are going to happen. Then he leaves India, and I'm like, why couldn't it be more about that? Why couldn't it be where he basically sees, like I was thinking, maybe he predicted people's futures, and because it was always dark, always negative, people thought of him as cursed, and he would get abused for it. That when he finally got to teach his ability, he still had a distaste for humanity. That when he finally falls in love, he's willing to do anything to correct the fate of the one he loves. Because I was thinking he was basically going to predict the end of the world, and he was or something like that, where it was going to lead to like the death of thousands, millions. And the one he falls in love with, he reads that her fate is tied to the illness. And I was thinking that he would do anything to make sure not just her, but everyone was freed of the prediction that he had seen. And I was hoping it was going to go more that route, so then it would be more, I don't know, intense, more suspense-based, instead of long, drawn-out romance scenes that didn't... Because I knew what was going on from the very beginning. I knew that whatever his name is, predicted his own death, and he was going to die at a young age, so why invest in a family? And it was obvious from the first introduction of this suicidal doctor that she was in the same boat, that she was going to die herself. So when he reads her future, he refuses to believe. I think the best scene, though, was when the uncle came to realize that his predictions were completely accurate, that he was the real deal. I think that was the most impactful scene for me, because it just held the suspense that I wanted. Here was the naysayer that didn't believe a single thing, and then in one moment, his eyes are open to the powers in the world, the majesty that's out there, the capabilities beyond science. So it was one of those things that I was like, okay, I like that scene. I agree with that scene. Everything else was, I don't know. Yeah, it seems like they were going for a Titanic-ish thing at the very end. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of the Titanic. I've only seen it once. I probably need to re-see it or rewatch it, but I didn't like it when I was younger, and I just have held on to that from that day forward. I know it's highly credited. I know it's much beloved, but I need to rewatch it, honestly. But yeah, it was going for that at the very end. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't care for it in Titanic, and here it is here. They throw in the last action scene at the very end, and I'm like, it doesn't build up to this. I guess this movie did better than Titanic. The only reason you know what's going to happen to Titanic is because it's the Titanic. The reason you know it's going to happen here is because, well, he's fated it from the very beginning. He knew it from the very beginning. Heck, they basically had it written in the stars for him, because it starts in like, what, 1976? Like, so he knew his future from the very beginning. I mean, that's a very negative way to live your life, knowing that you have a limited lifespan. But yeah, the movie just dragged on a little too much. They did a little too much that it took me out of the scenes. Like, anytime they showed the romance, they held on to the scenes a little too long. That made it just not seem as impactful. I mean, that's at least for me. I struggled to finish this movie because it just felt like I've gotten the message. I know that these two people are a mixed match. I know these two people are basically fated to die young. I know these people basically make each other better, but at the same time are each other's Achilles heel because they want to live for more for each other. They're willing to do stupid things for each other. But it just kept dragging on. And I wasn't a fan of that. It was like, you got the message done in like the very beginning. Why keep pushing it? Yeah, but not my cup of tea for sure. Definitely not my type of movie. I did enjoy it, but at the same time, it just it dragged. Honestly, I would love to download it and just edit my own version that I would actually prefer. It'd probably turn out to be just an hour and 20 minutes because there was a lot of fluff and a lot of repeated notes to just try to nail home all they were trying to say. And I felt it was done fine. They just did too much of it. Yeah, but that's what I thought. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.